on the thing. Your event is starting. The stream has started, sir. And live stream is starting soon. Just waiting for that to show up. All right, we're live, mate.
Hey guys, welcome to the Chaos Gamers Cast.
Podcast.
I almost did that.
Started, sir. I was actually gonna tell you not to do the Chaos Gamers HD.
I almost did it too, which is the funny part. So, this is the first podcast of the channel. This is obviously we are the Chaos Gamers HD. This is our original channel, and now we have a podcasting channel for, I guess, what we feel like at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we have plans, and I've come in contact with a couple of YouTubers that actually are willing to actually go on the show, and that'd be really interesting to do. I kind of wanted this, or I was thinking about it today after I created the channel last night and worked on the profile picture and the banner. I'm making this more of like a community, where it's like almost like a talk show, like a podcast, but you invite other YouTubers, and it's almost like a community of different YouTubers and such. And we get some subscribers, and our subscribers will go to them, and so on and so forth. So.
And
so I mean that's the plan. I mean, no promises here, but I was talking to Ty Tree, and I'm trying to get him to actually go on the show. I don't know if he's up for it, but I'll ask him tomorrow when it's because it's like a 6-hour freaking difference. He lives in Spain, so.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
But so, Benji already asked if he can be on the show.
I saw the comments. So that should be said that the podcast is not always just going to be us. Hopefully, we're going to try and get someone on, as often as possible. Maybe it be a couple of repeat players, whatever. Messed that one up. Anyway, so you may see some regulars because we do have a couple of friends that we do like to stay in contact with, and they're really cool people. And I think they'd be great for the podcast because it's kind of like I think we're going for like a laid back sort of chill.
Podcast that you guys can just listen to, and
most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes there will be some controversial topics. We'll say that right now. And if you're watching this as a video after the fact, I guess it should be stated earlier that we're not partaking in any YouTube drama. So if anyone that sees this wants to come check out the live stream and then wants to start some drama in the chat, you can leave. And I don't mean to be a dick about that, but I'm not having it.
No, that's totally understandable. I mean, I think the same exact way. We're not here to talk shit about other YouTubers or put our 2 cents in and stuff like that. But
this is
we're
not
here
a
to
drama channel.
Exactly. And even if this doesn't grow in the future, I don't know why, but like this sounds like really cool. Like like those radio talk shows or even podcasting things that people actually like plug in their earbuds and they'll go on a jog and they'll listen to it. That'd be kind of cool if like we become one of those things, you know what I mean, where people actually like jog to our podcast, and
it becomes part of people's days. I mean, that would be just fantastic.
I mean that's what I love about podcasts, and like me and Austin actually tried to do it a few years back, and instead of actually like going to the first thing that like YouTube, I mean I don't know why we didn't think of that, but
it wasn't. Yeah, I think the problem wasn't that we couldn't do a podcast. I think the problem was that we couldn't find a platform to put the podcast on that we had actually really liked, that really worked for us. Until now.
Exactly, and having this live, we can read the chat, and I love the YouTube community as far as live streams go. I mean, very few trolls from what I've seen, and the trolls, like, I mean, I've had a couple trolls, but like if you just like not feed into them, but like if they see that you're not getting mad, they just leave. Like if you're just like, oh, I'm watching, and I'm not saying that he was a troll, but like let's say that he was a troll, like I'm watching porn on my phone, like, well, do your pixel business, like you know what I mean?
All right, do you, boo boo?
Right? It's like it doesn't really affect us that much. We're kind of just laid back guys. So unless it's some like crazy shit that shouldn't be said in the chat, then we'll be forced to ban you. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty laid back, chill streams.
I'm hoping to really build a community out of this because I really like hearing from you guys. I really like having interactions with our fans, if we can call them that, or like people that just enjoy us in general.
Yeah, and this is also like a thing, like a lot of people like to watch our streams on our other channel for our games and stuff like that, but sometimes we end the stream because we're not up to playing any games at the moment. But this will be like a channel that like if you guys want to just still stay back in the stream and just kind of chill out and listen to our voices and stuff like that, and you can still interact with us and stuff.
The podcast and the after party.
Exactly. So I mean, it's honestly, that was a fantastic idea though. Like I'm really liking the idea of this. And it's not going to be like a routine yet, and like unless it actually becomes a really big thing that we decide that it deserves a routine, or we feel like putting more effort into it. It's kind of more of a like whenever we feel like podcasting, we'll podcast. There's no real set date or time yet. There's not even actually a set date or time on the on our actual channel for live streams. It's just been kind of whenever lately, but
Yeah, pretty much.
hopefully that'll change. So I mean, what someone actually suggested to me, which I actually didn't think about this, is that is to go into like, because you can look at what like YouTube when it's at its peak of how many people are actually watching it a day. There's
Yeah.
always a peak time. So if you see how many people are watching it, then if you can fit in a live stream and like in that time period, we could actually have a huge boost of people in our streams. And I didn't actually realize that. I was like, that's actually a really good idea. I never thought of that until someone brought it up to me. I forgot who it was. I know it wasn't Ty, but
Well,
some
then
other
have to
people.
check that out.
Yeah, and also good news, we might be actually getting Black Ops 3 and maybe even joining Unity group. So Ty Tree is was from Unity. He actually was a quit, and in pretty much light terms, I don't know the feud, and obviously we're not going to get into YouTube drama or anything like that. I think it was just the way it was ran, but now it's a completely different thing, and they're actually going to be doing new recruitment. So he said that he can put in the word for us. And well, he thinks that our content is up to par with what Unity is looking for. So, actually, I talked to my parents about it, and they're gonna go halves on it, so I can be getting it next week when Dad gets
So,
his paycheck.
as far as that's concerned, we'll keep you guys updated, of course, on both this channel and the other one, possibly. Well, of course, our main channel there'll be an update on that.
Of course.
But this is more or less just chill back, relax, and listen to the stupid stuff we say sometimes. So,
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, every single podcast is gonna be about different topics, and as we gain more people to actually watch our podcast, they can actually comment down below what topic they want us to talk about, and we can touch base on each individual person and stuff like that, to a certain extent. And it's honestly, I think it's just a fantastic idea. I'm really excited actually for this channel, and I like the way like I set up the whole entire thing, like the whole profile picture and stuff like that. I think it really looks clean and professional as far as the podcasting thing goes. You know what I mean?
yeah, came out nice.
Yeah, and
So,
I was looking at thumbnails on Google for podcasting things, and a lot of people have like these cartoon drawings of like themselves, right? And then they have like a cup of coffee with like the name of their podcast on the
yeah.
coffee, and then they have like a drawn microphone that goes right there. And I thought that'd be so cool, like so sick of an idea to do. And I was like, who can actually do us an animation? I was like, we got Sky. So maybe we can even touch
Yeah.
base with Sky and maybe even get like a cool looking custom thumbnail that we can use for our thumbnails in the
I'd
future or
definitely hit her
something.
up then.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
As far as that goes today, that's what's going on with the channel so far. If we have anything else that we missed, we'll definitely let you know about that stuff if we think about it at a later date. But for now, what is the rest of the topic for the podcast today? I mean, being the first one, this is kind of like it's
Yeah, I
exciting.
mean,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
exactly. I mean, we don't really have anybody in the chat right now. I hit up Enosh, so he said he's gonna be stopping by for a little bit. Um, but I mean, what I'm really happy about is the amount of support that we've got on this channel. Even like, I mean, 6 subscribers. I mean, like, I just made the video today, and like already 5 people from our main channel already subscribed to the channel and stuff like that. And that's just honestly fantastic. So we thank all of you guys for the support on the new channel, and hopefully it goes somewhere and can become something, more than just a pipe dream, I guess you can say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that goes for both channels. I mean, I'm always looking for new ways that we can actually put ourselves out there, and I'm actually really really happy, and like I give that guy like Ty the like most utmost respect, because like at 2,500 subscribers, even though that's kind of small in the grand scheme of things and stuff like that, you'd think that he wouldn't message, like, because I just tweeted at him. I was like, hey, do you mind if I message you? I got some couple of questions on YouTube concerning YouTube. And then he DM'd me. He was like, what's up, man? And then we just went on like a huge conversation, and like him giving us tips, and actually him watching our videos. And like, dude, he took the time out of his day to actually help us out grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, YouTubers like that, man, I give you guys the utmost respect. It's just because as like sometimes YouTubers get like this sense of like, oh yeah, I'm way out of your league to even be helping you out, so I'm not even gonna help
Sort
you
of
out.
sense of entitlement, kind of.
Exactly, or a sense of superiority over smaller channels. And it's really great that he actually touched back, like, actually decided to actually have a conversation with me.
I'd
And
like to say that we're those kind of people where, like, no matter how many subscribers we have, we'll definitely try to take, like, time out of our day to see, like, to help out the smaller guys. And I'm not talking about, like, if we have 3 million subs, we're only going to help out the guys that have like a couple 100,000, that are smaller compared to us. I just mean small in general. Because it's absolutely ridiculous what people like that can do. If you have a couple million subscribers and you just like, even if you make a video fucking burning someone on the internet,
I mean,
crucifying their reputation, they get like 100,000 subs from that.
He seriously like
And I'm
Leafy,
not,
man.
and like, yeah, and I'm not into that kind of attention. So that's not, but like, you know what I mean? But like that same sort of general effect where it's like, if I like what you do, then my subscribers might like what you do. In which case, you definitely deserve the shout out if I take the time out of my day because your stuff is good.
Yeah.
Then you 100% deserve it.
See, now I think the reason why people do that is because it's more of like a thing of like everyone's trying to do YouTube nowadays, and like without the proper setup and stuff like that. So like their video production and quality and stuff like that isn't all that great and stuff, and it's not like up to par with bigger YouTubers. You know what I mean? Like you can't expect to grow if you're like that.
Yeah, I'd say it
So,
takes
like,
a long time to get to a point where your video quality is good enough. Like there's always so many improvements that you could do. No matter how small they are, they always add up to something.
Exactly. I mean, I literally just added a watermark, and like it kind of almost filled in a little part that like it should have always been there, kind of thing. It sounds really weird, but like I really like the way the watermark like looks on like the videos, and like I even for like the gameplays I actually put like an effect on the video, and it makes it like have like this nice cool like orangey kind of look to it, and like it looks really good for games and stuff like that. So like little things that like I've done to like try and make the video production value go up is actually making all the bit of difference, in my honest opinion, as far as videos now from when I look back into my older videos.
And be entirely honest, whether or not it does, it just feels like it does, which is good enough to me.
Exactly. And for someone that has 2,500 subscribers and his video quality is really good, and like I think he's an awesome YouTuber and really down to earth kind of guy. And for someone like that to say that our videos are really great and stuff like that, and actually give us pointers on how to actually grow our channel is just so crazy to me. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning too, because it was 9 o'clock in the morning for him. So he got back to me. We were talking and stuff like that, and I couldn't go to sleep for like the next hour. I was just like so excited, like a person meeting like their favorite YouTuber or something like that. You know what I mean? That's like me meeting Casey Neistat. Like I'd be so like in awe, in awe. Yeah, in awe. So that was pretty cool. I was actually really excited.
I really do hope this works out for the best. And for a topic today, I mean, what do we just do it like a general conversation like we would normally do, just you and I? Like, what do you want to do, like sciencey type stuff? Is that what you want to? Conversation on science, is that?
I don't know why, but I was thinking about doing like a YouTube thing. Like I know we've been talking about YouTube for a while, but
Well,
like
I mean, there's a couple more things we could talk about just for like the next 10 minutes, and then maybe we'll go to the
do a little
science.
science. Yeah, sure.
All right, so there's one thing that I'd like to kind of bring up, I guess, and it's like the state of YouTube. And I understand that like with the pros, there's the cons. With the people that are coming to watch your content, there's obviously always those few bad eggs. But it's come to a point with YouTube that like some of YouTube's policies aren't quite up to par with where they need to be with the actual progression of the website. And I understand that because it's like, it's a multi-million dollar, if not billion-dollar, a website or enterprise, if you will. And I understand it's hard to stay on top of that stuff, but it's like, it's kind of your job. It's just like our channel is, if you will, our baby, not to be weird about it, but it's kind of like that's how Google and YouTube should be. It's like this is something that you've grown, that you're participating in the growth of. So why wouldn't you do your best to help it out? And so like all this drama and this prank channel bullshit and all this just left and right, and this person's fake and that person's, I don't give a shit. Okay, if I watch a prank channel or something, which I don't ever do, but if they happen and it happens to be funny, I don't care if it's fake. I probably already think it's fake, but I don't care because if I got a laugh, it was good enough for me.
I think 95% of the entertainment business it's all fake. You know what I mean? Like you can't expect every reaction, everything that you see.
Yeah.
It's for entertainment for a reason. If their lives are boring or that boring, they wouldn't be having a television show. And if it is boring, then if they like, well, it's almost like your everyday routine. Like not everything's gonna happen. It could just be like a laid back day and stuff like that. But for entertainment, it seems like all those channels that are like reality shows and stuff like that, there's always some drama or feud going on, and like that no one clicks into their head like, oh yeah, this could possibly be written down as a script or something. You know what I mean?
And furthermore, who decided to take that this is, this drama and then decide this negative attention and decide that it's now a good thing. When is that ever a good thing? I understand like the no publicity is bad publicity bullshit, but let's be real here. Like, who wants their channel honestly to be linked to that kind of animosity towards certain types of people? It's just ridiculous.
And you know, big followers, or like big followings, like PewDiePie and like KSI and stuff like that. People who have millions of subscribers, they have like these fans that have like this mob mentality where they all gang up on whoever they don't like if they ever just say that, like decide to say that in a video, and they just go on that channel and hate on that channel.
And
And I
for
think
no
that's just so
reason.
wrong. Yeah, exactly. It's like because your favorite YouTuber has a negative opinion on another YouTuber doesn't mean that you have to hate that person unless there's hardcore evidence or factual proof that this guy is an asshole. But it doesn't mean to say that you should ruin their experience with YouTube or ruin their fans'
Well,
experience. You know what I mean?
even if they are an asshole, like the kind of power that comes with channels like that, like, they can literally squash your channel and like just by saying one sentence and that's it. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then you just get so much hate, you're forced off out of the YouTube community, and I think that that's total horseshit because there's like in some of those cases, those people have a lot to offer.
I think it goes into like that saying is with power comes great responsibility, right? And with the power of you having millions of people following you, and you got to understand, like, you got to be careful on what you say. You got to be more professional about things. You know what I mean? You can't just be subliminal about things. Like, you can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm hinting at this person but not fully saying their name or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and then start drama over on Twitter and stuff like that. I'm talking about the whole PewDiePie fucking situation. That was ridiculous.
I don't follow that crap.
Yeah.
No time
But
for it.
it was. I thought it was just stupid, and
I mean,
it's just like they act like little 5-year-olds. Like, bro, grow the fuck up. If you don't like their channel, and if they're talking shit about you, who the fuck cares? You're still making videos. You're still pertaining to your audience. You got a job to do, and that's
and then
to
they start
entertain
pulling
your
out like the yo
audience.
mama insults for some reason. I don't know what happened.
I know, right?
How did we get to this point? Can someone please help?
I don't know. I think I can say this for a huge fact that like YouTube isn't what it used to be.
That's
And
not, and I still respect the state it's in, but this.
it comes to a point where it's just like, guys, just grow the fuck up, man. Like you're in your 30s, making bank off of YouTube
One
and stuff like that,
second,
but you
guys.
still have, but you guys still have a job to do. You still have to entertain your audience has subscribed to you and has been supporting you since day one. It's just one of those things. And I don't know. I just think that's ridiculous. Maybe Ross can get back.
All right, subject change. Don't you hate that moment where you're like, oh yeah, let me just start up, the stream or the podcast or whatever else, and then someone's like, what would be a fantastic thing to do right now? Let's go see what they're doing. Or
Hey,
like,
Austin.
I have a job for you. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, Austin.
What?
Check your OBS settings. Is there even any audio getting sent out?
Yeah.
Like you see the waveforms going up and down.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
only
yeah.
muted. Let me refresh the stream real quick. Check your OBS settings. Is there even
Yeah,
any
dude, I can
audio
hear it
getting
on the stream. I'm
sent
on the
out?
stream page and I can hear it. Yeah.
Like you see the waveforms going up. Oh, I know why. How long has this been on? We've been streaming since 9:30, so it's 9:55 right now.
It's about 20 minutes. 20 minutes we've been streaming or podcasting for. So anyway, as far as like the YouTube drama goes, like I've had enough. You know what I mean? Like people don't need that kind of crap. It's like, this is on a side note, and this is like probably a whole other fucking rant that's about to happen. But I hate watching the news. Why? Because it's like you hear about some shit that is not news. It's like news to me is like, this is some shit I needed to know before I walked out the door this morning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
There's a
someone won the award this week for best brown dildo. I don't know. Why did I need to know that though? I didn't. Don't tell me.
I understand. Like it's I think everything as far as entertainment goes is completely monopolized.
Yeah, and it's like the stuff they tell you on the news. It's like, yeah. So you're gonna tell me about someone's like great fucking tomato soup recipe when there's like people still dying in Africa, right?
I know, right?
All right, fantastic. I'm glad we live in America. This fucking guy. This is Trump all over again. This shit.
And honestly, another thing that irritates me is that all YouTube channels, all like news channels are all biased. You know what I mean? They all give out biased information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they're always geared towards one side more than the other, and
Well, that's the whole
that
point of
pisses me off.
propaganda. Is it's not about reporting the news as it is. It's about trying to sway people in your direction of whatever that may be for the
Exactly.
cause.
So
In
like
in
gun control.
98% of cases.
So like gun control, for example, like they're gonna try and hey, how's it going, Outcry? They're gonna try and
Phenomenon.
phenomenon. They're gonna try and basically if that news channel is totally against it's totally against like guns and stuff like that. They're anti-gun. They want gun control to be in effect. They're gonna put as many cases of people getting murdered from guns every single day, and I find that shit so ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because with anything, people are gonna die regardless. There's like no guns in a lot of like or no guns allowed in a lot of other countries and stuff like that, but they can still die from any other fucking inanimate object. You know what I mean? Like I can grab this fucking glass cup of mine right here, and I can smash my fucking mom up, like upside the head with it, and she can clock out, and I can grab the little shards and you know what I mean? Like there's like
Is that a
you can-
confession? Is that what just happened? What just
she
happened?
she wouldn't leave me the fuck alone. I mean, I don't know.
She told me to take out the trash. Like, this is what happened.
Africa, I wanted to know when Kim Kardashian fucked a black guy today, right? So ridiculous. I can't stand this shit.
And that shit, the Kardashians, who gives a fuck? Do
None of
people
them are fucking talent.
do people still work in this country? Do you have something better to do rather than like see what's going on with Kim Kardashian? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
do you wake up and go to a job? Do you have an employer? Or are you just like, oh, Kim Kardashian's ass again? I like this
Are
channel.
are you okay, sweetie? Where's your parents?
I know, right? What the fuck? And like it's gotten to a point in which like watching the news literally makes me sick because it's like this same bullshit when I know what they're doing. And it's like you're not slipping anything past me, but the thing that's really annoying is how many people are watching this shit like, oh, it's fantastic news. Like, no, dude, it's not. They're feeding you horse shit on a platter. And you're just licking it up.
You just lick.
Mainstream media, and you just lick the nutsack. There you go.
He's a dog chasing cars.
And like, of course, like Nick and I have our own biases, of course. But me as a person, I still try to argue a topic as objectively as possible. I don't deny some information just simply because it makes my argument, just fucking a hard one to win.
Feminism.
Well, there's no argument with that. That's just shit fucking crazy.
If I learned one thing with dating a girl for a year and a half is you can't argue with a female, point blank.
And, well, it depends on how you do it. I mean, I'm a very stubborn person, so, it's...
Well, the problem is that me and my girlfriend are both stubborn, so that's just... There's no, like, who's right, who's wrong, we can ever come to an agreement. It's just like...
It's just about who's more stubborn.
Yeah, pretty much. Who stuck it out.
And for me, it's always me. Because, man, I will be there for, like, the next 2.5 months if that's what it takes to win. And I don't even care. The argument could be about pasta.
I like macaroni better. Well, lasagna. Lasagna. Like, what?
Like, it gets to a point of, like, proving my skill. It's like, how stubborn can I be? Like, let's find out, shall we?
Seriously.
Or someone's like, oh, you won't win this argument. Like, oh, now you've done it, because that is a personal challenge, and I accept 150%. And you're going to pay for those words.
You know what'd be
Anyway.
really cool to have for this podcast is like commercial breaks in between. Not like commercials, but like actually just like, all right, commercial break, and then we'll have like a song playing, and when the song ends, we'll go back to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or just shoot some shit before from the, like, or take some clips from our videos and put them in there.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like some sneak peeks of future videos or such. I mean, I have to set that up because I do the video, so.
Or to even, like, edit out some, like, as we gain more and more funny clips from our videos, we'll start using those in the podcast. You know what I mean?
Possibly.
Oh, well, you're gonna take a 5-minute break, and we'll find, like, a 5-minute clip.
Yeah.
That's just, like, funny as shit. So you get, like, a bunch of them just waiting.
Well, the thing is, though, is that, like, let's say if someone's actually watching the podcast on, like, their phone or something, and that they're going around with their earbuds, we gotta kind of add, like, just audio, not video. because they're not going to be looking at that. They're going to be paying attention to their daily lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only problem that I have with that. But other than that, I mean, I think it's completely original. But I think that music would actually kind of do a little bit better with that. Because it's like, oh, sweet, like I love this song. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
give you a
yeah,
little
fair
more
point,
motivation.
fair
Yeah,
point.
you know what I mean? Maybe I can even work on making like a podcast playlist of just like awesome, phenomenal songs that I don't care what like music you listen to, you love that song kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like AC/DC, you got to put that shit in there.
Imagine if they start having that like for an OBS setting for YouTube streaming. It's like where you get a subscriber, it'll actually notify you and you can play a sound. So it's
That's
like every time
actually
we get a subscriber, it's like the same fucking gun, and it'll say that every time someone subs.
again. The same guy again.
I got fucking knifed again. That line right there, perfect. Anyway, so on to some science shit. I was looking at a magazine. I don't know if I told you about this before, but I'll go over it again anyway, just because I find this topic interesting. Have you ever heard what a ramjet is?
A ramjet. No.
Yes. All right. So a ramjet, you know how a jet engine works. There's a turbine, it compresses the gas, and there's combustion within the chamber, and that actually creates your propulsion.
Mm-hmm.
And drives the plane forward. The wings create lift.
Yep.
All right, that's a general jet engine. That's pretty typical. Like that's what we use today in commercial planes and jet fighters and stuff like that. Well, they've come up with something called a ramjet, and what a ramjet jet does is that actually it has to get up to at least Mach 4 to start working,
Yep.
which means it has to get up to 4 times the speed of sound
Speed of
before you
sound,
can even
yep.
switch the fucker on.
Yep.
But what happens is that actually the speed of the plane compresses the air in front of it into the intake of the engines. So the jet turbine doesn't need to do that. And the air is compressed, and then the fuel-air mixture is created, and then that's the ramjet, so it actually fires.
Oh,
So I'd imagine
nice.
it's almost like it would be kind of like a very fast pulse, I would imagine. So that would accelerate you far over Mach 4. So you have to get it up to Mach 4
Yeah,
before the
for-
engines will work. And then once you engage the ramjets, you're going holy
going
shit
up.
fast.
Yep. That must be
Blackout,
pretty.
holy
That
shit.
must be pretty fucking hard to actually control.
Well, the problem is that the jet engine technology is almost essentially proven to work. The issue, however, is that the materials that the plane is made out of
Yeah,
cannot withstand the
and
temperatures.
heat. Yep.
No. Not the temperatures of the engine. The temperatures of
No,
the
it's
air
just-
rushing around it
Yeah, I know. I
because
understand.
friction.
Yep.
And that shit blows
Actually-
my mind, the fact that they can push it to go so fast that the actual materials of the plane have to be entirely reinvented because air itself is heating up so fucking hot that it can melt it.
Seriously.
And they can't use titanium because you want to hear a funny thing about titanium? At, I think it's 2,000 degrees Celsius or something like that, titanium actually burns.
What?
Oopsie-daisy. Yep, it reacts with oxygen to create titanium oxide, which essentially is it's reacting with the air. And creating an exothermic reaction. So, oops.
Wait, why did I say rust? Titanium doesn't rust.
No, it doesn't. Technically it's the same thing. It's titanium
It's-
oxide, whereas rust is iron
It's
oxide.
like iron oxide. Yeah. Well, that's for iron.
Yeah, but it's oxidation
Yeah.
cycle.
Yeah. Just basically a metal mixed with oxygen to form rust.
Some metals can't oxidize. Like I don't think you
Yeah.
can get gold oxide. Not in like
No,
in
pure
nature,
gold.
but I know you can mix chemicals to produce gold oxide.
Well, maybe it's like what you just said. It burns from the when oxygen is mixed with it. So maybe it's like every single like non rustable material or metal actually has its own way of kind of, I don't know how to explain it.
Basically, instead of it's just the temperature. It's a catalyzing the reaction. The energy in it has to be required to actually to start the reaction to produce the energy out. I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. That's chemistry. In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. Sometimes metals in general, some certain types of metals, like I don't think tungsten, for example. I don't think that tungsten, no matter how hot you get it, will produce tungsten oxide.
No.
I'm not even such a thing exists. I'm not sure you can get an oxidization phase of tungsten in the general sense.
I don't know why. I just fucking love tungsten carbide. I think it's just pretty fucking awesome. I just, the only thing that doesn't that sucks about it is just that it shatters, but it's fucking hard as shit.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of titanium because it's just like the durability with it as well as like the extreme hardness. It's not as hard, but it's far more durable than tungsten.
Yeah,
is.
exactly. It has like the best of both worlds of
It'll
hardness
bend and not
softness.
break,
Yeah.
but it's still very hard.
Hard. Yeah.
That you can use it for cutting and whatnot. So I think it's just overall more versatile.
Well, the thing is though, that's awesome about tungsten carbide is that they use it for a lot of tools,
Yeah,
so that it's
that's
really
just
durable in that
expensive though.
sense. Actually, no, tungsten carbide is really inexpensive. It's really cheap.
No, it's not. The material itself is cheap. The problem is that
But you have to
putting
use
it
a diamond
into
cut.
it's not just a not just like it's actually shaping the tools and getting it so that way it mixes because tungsten carbide is a mixture. It's a
Yeah, it's a mixture
carbon
of
tungsten
tungsten and
compound.
carbon. Yep. The tungsten and carbon actually makes it so that it links together. The tungsten actually
And
makes it
so to
harder.
produce the material is easy, but once you've made the material, it's very hard to work with. And once it's set, once it's made, once it's cooled down enough, you can't change the shape of the object.
You know what's really cool is that they used to actually use supersonic jets as commercial like flights,
Yeah, until
and
a
and
couple
they
of them
retired
crashed.
it. Yeah, and they retired in like
They're
2003 or
they're
2001.
trying to bring those back.
Yeah, they are. They're trying to like reamp the old design of it to make it more safe and such.
Imagine if they put
But
ramjets on that motherfucker. Like just
no, thank you. I'm good. I don't feel like blacking out on like. Actually, never mind. Like I'll black out and like fucking wake up in China. Like, oh, there we go. Like that's a
well,
cool
it's
flight.
Mach 4. It's not. If they're not doing loop de loops in that, well, if they did, I mean, they put that whole like. Imagine if that's what they did. They just make you pass out, and then you're like, oh, well, it only took us 10 minutes to get there. Like, dude, it's been like 6 years. Have I been sleeping for that long?
Yeah, but I was actually watching the SciShow video on that they uploaded. I think today.
Oh,
No, no, not
nice.
today. Today was the futuristic materials.
Nice.
That was an interesting video. You should watch that, man.
I'll
They
definitely check
came
it out. I
they
was going
came
to.
they came out with like the most lightest gel uh ever, pretty much, because instead of actually having it liquid, it's gas.
Hmm.
It's
Sounds
really
tasty.
weird, and they actually have it so like it's like I don't know how to explain it. So you know how gel is I believe it's like the H2O molecules like they actually bond together, so like it's like a liquid rather than like what they're using as gas. I don't know how gel works. I forgot.
A gel? Gel
Yeah.
is,
How
is
like how it binds together. It's like a mixture of like solid water molecules and or something like that.
you're talking about the actual structure of a gel?
Yeah,
Um,
like how they bind together. It's really fucking weird, to be honest.
Generally, they have to use some sort of stabilizer to make a gel. Like gelatin, they use like basically what is ground up bones
Yeah.
to produce gelatin, and which is interesting and also kind of disgusting because it's like grandma's Jello pudding shit.
Was made from her femur bone.
It's like from rashes. I'm joking.
Ew. I made it from scratch. You see, like
I'll always be in your heart, right here, this artery. Like that blood clot, it's me. Hello.
Hello.
So
How are you?
I'm not quite sure on that one, but yeah, it's kind of ridiculous some of the stuff that they can come up with these days, like transparent fabrics and stuff they use by working like a similar, like the what do you call that? A mirage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They basically produce a similar effect. So it doesn't necessarily like make you invisible, but it obscures the image, essentially.
Well, that's actually what they were talking about in this one, and they were talking about like
Oh.
invisibility cloaks, or and it was like they attached little tiny antennas that actually absorb the light, so that light can't reflect off of it.
Here's
And
a
that's
fun
actually how
fact for
your
you
eyes
guys.
work. So they can actually make small objects invisible, but they're trying to make it into more of like a cloak.
Here's a fun fact for you. The government or the United States military, I believe, if I remember this correctly, they actually have a specific shade of pink that is classified because of its ability to absorb light. So it's actually darker than black at night.
Oh, but you should. Have I ever showed you like that material? That's the darkest material
Yes.
known to man. I forgot what they call it, but it like literally absorbs more than like 99 point like
I've seen it.
8% light or something like that. Is pretty much the closest thing you can get to
Yeah,
like
they
a
can't
black.
show it on camera because you wouldn't see anything. It's just black.
Yep. They showed it on camera, but like they kind of did like different angles because like at first you just see like a black circle,
Yeah.
and then like you did like a different angle, and like that's what you're seeing, and that shit is so fucking cool to me. Let me look it up real quick. Actually, on
I think
Google,
if they were
actually.
able to like create a sort of like coating to a plane, like a stealth plane, like a
Yeah, exactly.
stealth jet, then you fly it over Russia at night and no one will be able to see shit.
There it is. It's called. This is a black. Surrey Nanosystems created Vanta Black.
Oh, it's carbon nanotubes. I remember.
So Business Insider right here. All right, let me just. It's actually a video.
Speaking
But
of carbon nanotubes, actually, with the discovery of carbon nanotubes, they actually wanted to build an elevator to space, essentially making it much, much cheaper to be able to ferry stuff to the ISS, the International Space Station, because they would no longer have to pay or produce the solid rocket fuel to put the motherfucker into space, right? So you just crank the elevator on, just got like fucking 6 hours of elevator music, just standing there, do do do,
so
do
apparently
do
they
do
call it
do.
they call it a forest of millions of carbon nanotubes.
Yeah,
And it
I looked
when you
into it.
and like literally like you can't even run a laser over it. It absorbs that light as well.
Which is actually really good for military purposes, considering that if you have like a laser designator,
Mm.
if you were to try to like laser designate a target like a tank or something, and your tank is coated with that material, then it would actually absorb the light of the laser designator and the missiles
And it
and
wouldn't.
the
Yep, the lock-on
rockets,
missiles wouldn't actually be able to even lock onto the target.
because it wouldn't be able to find the
That's right.
laser,
Yep, it wouldn't be able to actually find the target in the first place.
which I think is cool as shit. Go
Imagine we get, like,
invisible.
Yo, imagine like that shit. Like that's how it works to make like cloaks and shit out of it. So like you just like completely like incognito, like got like your gun over there. Like all I see is a black fucking figure. What is that? Like
So,
lock
jeez,
on.
did someone fucking break the pen again? There's like a black blob or something. Is that ink? Is that wash it out? It's hide? A stain stick? What do I need?
I think the most interesting thing to me about science is that there's new discoveries every single day. So it's just that's what keeps my drive for science is like newish. Like it's like so cool, and like the advances that we make every single day. It just blows my mind every single time. So.
It is pretty ridiculous. The only thing is that I was actually looking into faster than light travel. I know that sounds kind of stupid, considering that we all know that faster than light travel is not possible. But I'm gonna tell you why. Because the molecules themselves, or not molecules, I should say, the atoms themselves are actually bonded together with photons. And guess what
Yep.
photons are?
Photons are what produce light.
Are light.
Yeah.
So if you're moving faster than light, then that means you're moving faster than those photons, in which case
which
the
means
bonds
you're-
themselves are yeah.
Exactly.
There goes physics. So you could technically approach or even match the speed of light, but you can never exceed it. Or I would say you probably wouldn't be able to match it, but if you were just slightly slower than it, I think it would be one of those things where, like, as you get
I think you-
closer to it, things would start getting a little weird on the physics side of things.
I think you can go as fast as the speed of light because of the fact that it's going as fast as photons can go, and those are what actually bond the atoms together. So it wouldn't be anything funky going on there.
Let me give
but
you an analogy for this, or a metaphor, or not. It's an analogy. I think that's what it is. So if you're running on a treadmill,
yeah,
and I'm running on a treadmill, right, trying to reach the same cheeseburger that's 10 feet in front of us, right?
no matter how fast you go, it's
We're not gonna get the cheeseburger.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter, right?
yeah,
Which means it's the same thing for photons. If the photons are trying to interact between two atoms, moving, and that material that the atom is making up is moving at the speed of light, then that means that photon is staying parallel in the exact same position relative to the object. Meaning that technically speaking, in relativity to the object, it hasn't moved at all.
yeah.
Basically meaning that its job, its existence, is therefore void in physics, and therefore that means that if you were to photons traveling in the same direction that you are, going at the same speed of light, means that that's where things would get weird.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you were going, just a fraction of whatever unit you'd like, slower than the speed of light, then I think you'd be fine. But as soon as you match the speed of light, then photons moving in the same direction it would kind of get weird, I think. And by weird, I don't know what that fucking means. Like, yeah, everything breaks down at the molecular level. It's just like carbon's like, fuck this. It's out of like CO2 just falls apart. It's just a bunch of like black dust on the ground. Like, it's all carbon. That's cool.
Well, the thing is though, is that they wouldn't have the bond still, but then again, mass cannot be created nor destroyed, so that you still have the building blocks to create.
Well, yes, but
different
they were no
elements and
longer
stuff like that.
connected. It's
Exactly.
like I
So
just
you
took
have
all
to-
your Legos and took them all apart, but they're still chilling on the floor.
Exactly, but you can rearrange them into different molecules and stuff like that.
I don't know about you, but I can't rebuild myself at the molecular level. Not possible. I tried it. It didn't go well. It was like dick stuck in ceiling fan. Instructions unclear.
Got my dick caught in a ceiling fan. Didn't work.
So you get the point.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because it's like physics. There seems like right when you think there's a way around physics, it just kicks you right in the ass. It's like, oh, I finally figured out how to go faster than the speed of light. It's like, no, you can't, because guess what? It's photons and all this other shit, and you're screwed by.
You're screwed by. I think that's the most difficult part. Is I think that's why I give so many.
That's like an ex-wife. You're screwed by.
Take half a shit. Bye.
But
I take all your kids. Bye. What am I left with? Nothing. Bye.
Took all your hair. Bye.
Shit, I'm thinning. Remember like SpongeBob movie? I'm thinning.
Just keep swimming. What is it? Here, let me answer a quick question for you guys. What is it like to have kids? Imagine you're drowning and then someone hands you a baby. That was actually one of my favorite comedians, Jim Gaffigan, said that. Yeah. I'm not stealing his credit. It was his joke.
What was it? And that's why I give like scientists so much props for like creating new discoveries and stuff like that. It's because, or not creating, but like discovering new things and stuff. Because it's like they're kind of going past what the laws that we know today and still figuring out some sort of way around it. You know what I mean?
Well, not a way around it, but a way to
attack
a new interpretation, if you will.
Yeah,
that's the best way to put it. And I think, personally for me, the thing that interests me the most would have to be quantum physics, because it's the one thing that I don't really know as much as I'd like to know about it. You know, I know a few key concepts and stuff like that as far as quantum physics go, but I think there's a lot to learn there, and I think that's something that really interests me personally. You know, like especially if my computer runs on that shit someday, like, oh, I gotta fix my qubits.
Qubits.
Where did I put my sonic screwdriver? Son of a bitch. It's like, imagine that you have a sonic screwdriver and it's just like in like the shape of the SR-71 Blackbird. It's like, it's the new model. SR-72.
They talked about that all the time. Oh, quantum physics, yeah. It's so interesting because like a couple things that you taught me is like, it's like, wow, that's really cool.
In general physics, it's like I know all of like the, you know, the formulas and stuff that you get in mass velocity and all that other good stuff, and like how gravity interacts with objects and it actually gives those objects mass. And like the basics of all that, and it's like from there I can basically figure out all the rest of the information. It's just calculations. But quantum physics is entirely separate, like quantum superposition and stuff like that. You know, something abstract ideas that how can one thing be in both positions? And you know, for a normal person, it's like they can't conquer those concepts. And you know, for me, I can. Obviously, there's some difficulty there at some points in time, but it's like, you know, it's you get to learn. It's something new that I haven't seen before that much. Well, I mean, until now. I mean, I've seen a lot of it now, and I have an interest in there. For Google is now gonna like fucking assassinate me. Google searches.
I think it's like the most difficult part for me, at least, is like you can tell me something, right? And I'm
like building a quadrian bomb. For those of you who know what that is,
it's like, so for like, the difficult thing about like me for like science wise is like you can tell me something, I'll completely understand it. If you ever use that reference in future terms, I'll get what you're talking about. Only problem is like me trying to actually tell other people is where I like mess up, and that's what sucks. I hate that shit so much. It's like when you're trying to explain like what you know, and like it doesn't
really
come out.
Skill.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're really good at explaining things, but I'm on the other hand really not. I mean, I have good vocabulary in explaining things, but that's not who I am. I like to learn. I like to absorb knowledge. You know what I mean?
Well, it's kind of like I don't like it just goes by so fast to me. It's like I don't have to think about all of like the extra, like, you know what I mean? Rather than having to dumb it down for someone else, and I don't mean to like make anybody feel stupid or anything like that, but it's like, you know, having a higher functioning brain in general means that like I can understand all the key terms that they're with all their complexity, so I don't have to break it down like I do for other people.
Mm.
And so, like, I can think about things faster on my own. But it's like anytime I have to explain it to someone, I have to slow down that process for a lot, exponentially, actually. And it's like, So it's like I'm no longer thinking about it because it's like I've already passed that stage, if you will. Which kind of like trips me up because it's like I'm still thinking about it and I'm far ahead of where the conversation actually is.
I wanna I wanna take a commercial, not commercial
New
break, but
topic: favorite serial killer. I'm thinking Ted Bundy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. LBJ, is that what it is? Uh,
wait, Jack the Ripper was an actual serial killer, right?
I believe so. Killing prostitutes in colonial times in England. Yep.
Where who's the one that actually speared people like just right up the butthole and like used to actually like put them down like as like a steak almost?
You talking about Vlad the Impaler?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
my man.
I know. I like that guy. I guess he was really
I
insane. He was way ahead of his time because he would really love this new day and age. You know.
Oh god, there's just so many perfect people that need a good spear up the ass these days. Hillary Clinton. Uh, and you know what? Honestly, like there's this is the part of evolution. This is another part of science where it's like, how do these people come to the point where it's like the who thinks about impaling people? You know what I mean? How did you get to that conclusion?
And like the amount of strength he must have had in like those times, like actually like grab like a huge fucking like circular log and just like fucking speared up someone's asshole.
No, man, it's fantastic. They were ripped. He was ripped. It's fantastic for everybody. Ripped assholes all the way around. Just, um,
But I want to take a little break here, and I'm gonna send you a link to a Prince song since he passed away, so it'd be kind of cool to do like a little tribute for him. Do you know who Prince is, by the way?
yes, I do.
Like little red Corvette. But I'm gonna do like When Doves Cry. That was a good song.
So am I playing this on stream? Is that what's happening?
Yep.
All right.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a little tiny break, and we'll be right back.
All right, guys, we're back.
What is going on?
All right, that's a good song. Too bad, man. To our good friend Prince. Just kidding, we're not friends. Too bad though.
I don't know why it's not letting me send anything in chat.
Kanye West was found alive. Lil Wayne's still smoking weed. Why? Well, we know that's not changed. Shit.
In tragic news, Lil Wayne still hasn't come out of the closet.
And he got another face tattoo. Like, another one? There's more real estate that we don't know about?
Something I want to talk about is fucking Pop-Tarts.
Alright, what about
And they need to like literally like increase the amount of shit they put in the middle, because like all I'm tasting right now is just like the crust.
That's why I always have to break like the outer edge off where it doesn't have any frosting on, because I fucking hate that. Goes good with some milk though.
Oh yeah. I got some milk on the side, I already know.
Oh yeah.
This shit's dry as fuck if not.
Damn, I wish I had some more of that pound cake. That shit was delicious.
What, Sammy's?
Yeah.
Actually was.
Sammy's grandma's.
Am I stoned? No.
No.
I was actually thinking about getting stoned for a podcast. That'd be kind of funny. That'd be stupid. Oh.
Oh man. So, next topic. What do we got? Want to do? You want to do abortion or just?
Whoa.
Just go right there.
You went there.
Fantastic.
I didn't say shit. Never saying anything to see here.
Oh, that's crap. If you think about it, like the way like the government is trying to like control everyone, like the flow of the internet and traffic and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's total horseshit. For the reason that it's like, what sense of privacy do I have anymore because you've just taken it from me? How am I supposed to watch my big Brazilian booty bitches without knowing that some other dude is already watching the same Brazilian big booty bitches?
And probably fapping to it as well.
I know, right?
Like there's just a bunch of cubicles and he's looking around like, hey, look at. Oh yeah. No.
All my coworkers doing this fantastic. Oh, yeah.
I love this guy's style. Like, get the fuck out.
You get like a fucking like text messages through your like fucking Windows, like Windows 10, like Cortana, NSA, love your shit.
Didn't Microsoft actually like do this whole entire thing where they allowed the government to anyone else like?
And it's a big thing because I am not an Apple fanboy. I absolutely despise Apple's products, but I like them as a company. And let me explain, because their products, honestly, they're ass. I don't like them.
I think the production value of them is actually pretty nice. Like the MacBooks and stuff like that, they're actually pretty nice. But the specs on them is not for what they're pricing it for exactly.
But the thing about Apple is that they actually denied the government. This is following. I mean, in context, this is gonna sound bad, but I'm just gonna say it and then explain after. You remember the Boston bomber?
Yeah.
Well, the FBI had asked Apple to basically crack the guy's phone for the investigation, and Apple denied their request because they had no reason for it. Now, obviously, we know that the guys did it and whatnot and whatever else, and they're on trial and all that other good stuff. But the point is like they had no solid evidence. There was no warrant, nothing like that. And like Apple knew that if they were to do that, it would be setting a precedent, saying that anytime that anyone's under any investigation, whether or not they've been charged, they're going to come looking for evidence on someone's personal cell phone device or personal devices in general. And so Apple denied their request. As where Windows openly and freely gives any information whatsoever, whether or not you're being charged with anything. If there's any investigation whatsoever, Microsoft will comply 100%. So they haven't even proven that you're guilty yet, or anything. And they'll just freely give up the information with or without a warrant, which is total horseshit and a violation of my privacy and anyone that it happens to happen to.
Well, I mean, you can find them for that.
If you can prove it. If you can
There's probably ways to actually figure out if someone's going into your computer or not.
Well, I'm sure there is, but the thing is that they're not using that evidence to convict you. They're using that evidence to find other evidence to convict you. You know what I'm saying? And let me explain that a little bit better. If you and your phone, right? Let's say
Yep.
me and you were like doing like hardcore drug dealing. Like let's just set this scenario up.
El Chapo.
Like you're dealing everything. Like there's like 6 pounds of crack. Okay, that's not much. Like let me think of a bigger number. 6,000 pounds of crack, and then you have like like a fucking ton of heroin, and like just metal drums that you ship off to like Africa. I don't know.
This is almost like the Zodiac killer.
Too poor to afford needles. Don't worry about it. They won't use it.
Tim, didn't the Zodiac killer look up to the Jack the Ripper?
I think
As
so.
people say.
Uh,
Well, no one's caught the Zodiac killer like the real Zodiac killer.
Anyway, continuing what I was saying. What was I saying? Shit.
We were saying
Okay,
that like
okay.
we're drug dealers, El Chapo.
Okay. So if you're a hardcore drug dealer, right, and I like call you up on my cell phone, right, and I'm just like, yo, dude, where you got my stuff? And I don't know, it's like, why did I talk like that as a drug dealer? Like, dude, you got my stuff, and they're like, yeah, dude, here, I'll text you the address.
You sound like that one hot boy FBI agent that just has like a fake mustache, like, yo, you got my stuff?
Yeah,
Like, bro, who you talking
he's like
to?
buff as shit, but you find out he's gay or something. I don't know.
I know, right?
Anyway, and like you text me an address to a warehouse, and that's where you're keeping all my drugs that I'm buying off of you. And it's like the cops can take that information from your phone and not use that to prove that you're guilty, but instead go to the address and say that it's just a casual investigation, right? Find the drugs and then link you to them, and now you're boned. You know what I mean? They can't submit that in court because it was taken against your will, but they can use it to find other evidence that they can, that they wouldn't otherwise have access to.
Find when and where kind of thing.
And I'm not saying that like they shouldn't be able to do that, because in some cases, if you've already proven that the guy did it and you need to find other stuff out, like to further charge him with something else, then I think that's 100% acceptable. But by no means, if I'm not charged with a crime, are you allowed to go into my personal effects and do whatever you damn well please.
Exactly. And it was to say they're not just looking at other people's, like, random people's computers in the first place. It just,
Well, of course they are. That's why the guy that was the whole thing like not too long ago, where it was like the guy fled to another country because he blew the whistle in the NSA, and that's where that big fucking joke comes from. NSA, nothing to see here, because they're just looking at people's at the data stream. You know what I mean? Anything coming in and out of anywhere.
what do you mean? What do you mean he like blew the whistle on the NSA?
No one knew about that until he said something.
And then he had to move to a different country?
Well, that's treason, dude.
Oh, he was a part of the NSA and actually
Yes.
openly admitted like classified information.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he got charged
Yeah.
if he came back to the country, he would get charged with treason. Or is it high treason, which is even worse?
I believe that's a death chair. If I'm not mistaken.
Or you go to Guantanamo and they waterboard your ass for eternity. I don't fucking know.
It's like worse than hell, and then you end up in hell anyway. Like, wow, really? I just spent like the rest of my
And
life
just like
doing this shit.
sitting on a computer, like, fucking NSA, got another one.
They got another one bites the dust. Hey. You want to know why? You want to know why religion's still standing? Because I'm here. No,
Satan's just sitting there, NSA cock blocked me trying to get some teens.
I'm done.
It's all kinds of fucked up. I'm sorry. But it's ridiculous that it's like that invasion of our privacy is at all in any way, acceptable for anybody.
I think that's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Because that goes against our constitutional rights as American citizens.
Well, they're slowly taking those from us. They
Yeah.
just a little bit at a time, as much as they can.
Yeah, that's how, that's how things work. That's how governments gain control over their people. Is they start slowly taking things away. They don't make any drastic changes to where people actually realize at first, but as they start kind of slowly taking little things that no one notices, or it's kind of like subliminally kind of said in like in a news thing, like just kind of like a 5-second chat, like in other news, like the government takes away this thing and like they go on to a different subject, something that you can, like something so minute that you can't even realize it, but some people who,
Like, here's a thought of mine, right?
yeah,
So let's say like prescription painkillers.
hmm
You need a prescription to get those. And I understand that they're addictive and whatnot, and I understand that, but so is cigarettes and alcohol, and people are alcoholics and smoke 2-3 packs a day or whatever else. The point is that because you've made those illegal, you created the black market for them. Right?
seriously, yeah.
And like people want them anyway, and they will do whatever they have to get them anyway. So the point that you did that was only because you want to stuff your pockets and not because it actually matters on who gets their hands on them. You don't
Like, you see how many people get prescribed for like shit like Vicodin and just like hardcore painkillers like that. It's just like they just kind of freely hand it out like it's like fucking
They're
candy.
fucking
But it's
Tic
because
Tacs.
it's
Like,
yeah, exactly because it's like prescribed. It makes it any worse than if you were just pick it up on the street and do it yourself. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like
and the
and
ridiculous
exactly what you're
part,
saying. The war on drugs is honestly a fucking it's a joke. It's honestly a fucking joke. They're trying to crack down on people that smoke pot. Like
and the ridiculous
I've
part
known,
is,
yeah,
is that right? If you don't have a prescription and you have them on your person, you get boned for possession of narcotics, right?
yeah, exactly.
Here's the funny thing: because now you put such a heavy penalty on it, you've only further increased the price and made it even more irresistible to do it on the black market. You created it and then made it better for the drug dealers. Do you understand that, you fucking retards?
Well, I read like an article or like someone's like almost like an essay on someone saying that all drugs should be legal, and for the reason that exactly what you're talking about right now is that because they made it illegal, it's almost like a kid, like when you tell someone not to do something, they're gonna want to do it. Oh, don't date when you're 16. Like, of course your daughter's gonna try and hide it from you, but she's probably gonna date when she's 16. It's that's just human nature. It's just what we do. Is like when we get told not to do something, we do it anyway. It's fucking retarded. But that's just how humans work for some reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think furthermore, I think they should just make that shit legal to buy. Of course it's expensive, but it'd be less than what it would cost you on the fucking street, and you know it's not laced with some shit. You know what I mean? If people want to overdose and kill themselves, fine. Just put them in a body bag and dump them, I don't know, in the blender in the Bermuda Triangle. Did I ever tell you about that idea? Side note, this is a fantastic idea. Right? All the useless people, this is what we need to do with them. In the Bermuda Triangle, where the people generally like to avoid for superstitious reasons, we build like an underwater blender, just giant blades spinning super fast, making like a fucking vortex in the water, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, yep.
And then you just like start shoveling people off the boat. They're like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" And you start pushing them off the edge. They
Whoa,
just hit the
man.
water. They get turned into shark food. We feed the sharks, and then we eat the sharks after.
Oh my god.
It's not
Controversial.
cannibalism because the sharks digest the people, and it's great. We're giving back to the
topics.
planet. All right, it's humanitarian. You know what? You're almost an asshole not to do it.
Actually, I was actually watching a video on like the superstitions of like the Bermuda Triangle and stuff like that, and they actually found some evidence on like why strange things happen over there.
I
It's
imagine
like it's like
something odd with like electromagnetic fields as
yeah,
well.
that's exactly what it was too.
That
And
would
they
be
were
my
saying that,
thinking.
and then they said it was like it causes random outbreaks of
Electromagnetic interference.
yep. Oh yeah, EMPs and stuff like that. Yep. And it would cause electronics to jam and stuff like that if you were to go over that area and stuff like that. It's a super weird phenomenon that only happens in like one place in the world. That's Bermuda Triangle. It's fucking weird.
Well, yeah. See, there's a perfect reason why you should put the blender there. Then
And no one would know about it. Like, we're gonna try and fly over here and what?
I'm just saying we overfished all the fish, right? Like we're just like, oh look, there's another one we can catch, and I was just like, we overfished them. So it's like, why don't we just give back a little? Just here you go. Like there's a couple, there's an arm and a leg, and then like, here you go. Start pushing them off the boat, just like fucking tankers at a time. Just
Yeah, exactly, Tim. I think gas in the water. I think that's exactly what the person said on the video. It's really strange, but it's pretty cool. You should definitely I'll definitely link the video to you, Austin. Later, we'll watch it. So what else do you want to talk about? We're an hour and 4 minutes into this.
all right. It's probably maybe like an hour and a half, so we got like 26 minutes.
Yep.
Um,
You know what we should do for like these streams? We should make them so like it's like an hour and a half long, and like because like when you make a new event, you can actually make it so that here's a start time, here's an end time. So when the end time actually happens, it notifies you and it stops the stream.
awesome, fantastic. That's actually a good idea.
So like everyone knows exactly how long the podcasts are going to be. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not like setting a schedule. It's just like this is exactly how long every single podcast is going to be
Yeah, I get it. We should definitely do that.
for the next stream. Yeah, I don't know when the next stream is going to be. I mean,
All right, let's go there. Presidential elections of 2016.
Oh, we're doing this.
Yeah, we're doing this.
All right, all right. We'll go for it. Oh, fuck
Hold
me.
on, hold on. I need a few pre-cringes here, just to get warmed up on the cringe muscles. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Hillary Clinton. Oh God, there's another one.
Hillary Clinton in like CF. No.
Trump and Hillary Clinton together. Oh,
I know,
they
right?
made a baby. They call it.
No.
They call it Trumpton. I don't know. I don't get it. He got bullied in school, and now he's like the next Hitler or something. It's fucked up.
Look up Ed Gain Skin Creations. Oh no, I'm good. I did. Wasn't he the person that actually made like lamps and shit, like lampshades and everything out of human skin?
Anyway, elections in 2016. Let's just make this short. What a clusterfuck. We got Trump's wall, we got Clinton's vagina, and then we got Bernie Sanders somewhere in between.
We the people.
For the people, by her vagina. Like, it
Like,
stinks over
the
here.
people. Like, sorry, that was my vagina. Sorry, go on. Like, so it must be very loose. We the people. Like, we're gonna build a wall. It's gonna be a good wall. Like, can every one of you guys shut the fuck up? No.
You know the sad part is about Trump's wall? He'd probably build it out of Mexicans. It's just like you just stack them the right way, they fall together like Jenga blocks. You ever seen people stack chairs? They put like the chairs like one upside down on top of the other.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing with the Mexicans. They just interlock feet.
So it's like human centipede all over again, but with a wall.
Hey, patron.
Hey
Papi.
Holmes, I got a Corona.
Let me get you guys cold beers.
I can cut your leg hairs, Holmes.
How you doing, Holmes? It's like someone goes to jump the wall. They're like stepping on people's faces on the way over.
Do you need your fucking bushes trimmed? I'm done. It's like, yeah, a little off the top.
And then, like, when they all finally die, he just puts concrete in around them. Like, perfect. Like, just puts, like, some hedges on the other side. Perfect. I like it.
Why can I picture Donald Trump doing that, like Mexican Tetris? Like, he's gonna make that a game.
Honestly, it's fucking awful. I don't like Donald Trump. I don't like Hillary Clinton. There's not a word I have for Hillary Clinton.
Eric,
A
dude,
clusterfuck.
that's a good way to describe her. She's fucking absolutely ridiculous. It's so fucking retarded, man.
And the fact that anyone with common sense could possibly ever vote for that bitch, which essentially tells me that quite a bit of America is just a bunch of fucking idiots. And if you voted for Hillary Clinton, I'm sorry, but why would you do that?
It's because what she's packing between her legs. They want to see the first female president. We already got the first black president, and then they want to go for that. It's like, okay, but you got to really do your research on who you're electing, because that's
Oh, you know what? Why don't we just elect Hitler again so we can have the first German president? You fucking idiots. Oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Why don't we have those people shot, please? Because I still like a free America, please. Thank you.
Line them up in a row and just. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going on like Hitler shit right now, actually.
I mean, I don't mean to like just throw Hitler around like that, but it's like that's what it's getting to. Like the state at which like the fucking election's in is like it's just you got Trumpler, and then you got Clinton. Just
It's just I don't know, man. She is the most like, and the fact that all right, so like I watched a video, right, of them comparing what she says at her
flip flops.
Yeah, exactly, at her at her speeches pretty much, and what actually happened before that, and it was all videotaped and was actually all hard proof that nothing that she said was actually happening, and all of Warwick's going to vote for if Hitler wins. But in all seriousness, though, and then like she said, shame on you, Obama, for releasing that footage and shit. It's like, why shame on him? He's looking out for all of us, hopefully.
Yeah, there's nothing that Obama gains from it. 'Cause, like, clearly, she is not a candidate that should be even in the running for president.
And he came at fucking Trump plenty of times as well. That's funny. When
Well,
when
they're
the
like
actual
fucking
president-
children.
Exactly. They're taking like pot shots at each other like it's like the fucking 5-year-old
You know what it is? It's a big fucking joke. It's just all a big fucking joke. The office of president to these people is just a joke. It's like, oh yeah, I just see who becomes president this year, and no one thinks that it matters when it really does. It's like the state of the fucking union is at stake here, and you're just gonna throw this shit around?
I don't get it.
You don't get it?
No, I just don't get this election and
Oh.
like how they're in the lead and shit. So
You know what I mean, though?
was
If there's
I was
like a
thinking about
feeling like the presidential election doesn't matter, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
fuck it, see what he's gonna do. And it's like, no, you don't understand that, like, the country is already, like, teeter-tottering on the edge of fucking death. And it's like, Clinton, you're falling off the cliff. Trump, you're falling off the cliff and burning at the bottom.
no, Trump, you're falling off the cliff and hitting his wall, and
You get impaled by, like, Vlad the Impaler at the bottom. Like, you got another one.
welcome to hell, sir. Like how do
I
you
know,
like
right?
like
How do you like your French fries, you piece of shit? I don't like either of them. They're just fucking awful people, fucking awful presidents if they ever become either one of them. And I'm not 100% Bernie Sanders either. And I'm just saying, like, I'm willing to give the guy a chance at least.
I think he's the only one that we pretty much got at the moment.
I'm not
There's no
pro
one that's
Bernie, and
actually-
I understand the whole socialist thing that everyone's like, "Oh, you socialist," and I'm like, yeah, but there's some of that stuff we do need.
Actually, the crazy thing, a lot of the stuff that we actually have in the government right now is all based on socialism. Actually, 401k, Social Security, those are all socialist things.
Yeah, I know, I get it, but I'm just saying that, like, I think out of everyone that's going for a presidential election, Bernie Sanders has the greatest potential to do good. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that he's a fantastic person. I'm just saying that the other ones are so shit that I would rather elect my fucking dog for president.
Mara, ruff, ruff, ruff. Yeah, I fucking love that dog. No.
Whatever she just said, get mine.
I know, right? But I looked at the recent polls, and actually Bernie is actually in the lead as far as votes go, but the delegates is what Hillary is in the lead in right now, and that's completely horseshit because Hillary is with all those big corporations. So that's basically what delegates are, is big corporations and shit, and
Fucking
obviously
horseshit.
since she's with them, they're gonna vote for her. So she has the main delegates because Bernie doesn't actually want to suck the big corporation's dick to get votes. He's not that type of person. He actually frowns upon that. That's his whole entire thing. Like his whole entire campaign and everything that he's done so far, all the money that he's raised is literally from the American people. None of that is from big corporations or anything like that. His average donation or something like his average donation for every single person is $27.50. They averaged it out, and he actually maxed the highest money gross for a campaign, and the person that actually had that first was Obama, but he actually beat that, and that's from the American people. And to me, that kind of just shows you what we're capable of actually doing without actually, you know what I mean? Just pitching in can make so much of a difference.
I just wonder if it'll be enough.
I think, and you know, there's one thing. It sounds really crazy hearing from me, but there's one thing that I actually do agree on Trump with. Is he actually touched base on that, and he said that, you know, people are always telling me, oh, Bernie's not going to win the election, this and that, and he was just like, oh, you know, but all I see Bernie doing is winning, winning, winning. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, and then all of a sudden, like you look at the delegates, and it's just like, what the fuck happened there? And it's just like he's like, this system is really rigged, and like for something like that to happen, for someone to get kicked out of the race, and they have more votes from the American people, but because of the delegates or the big corporations, they're the ones that get kicked out. You know what I mean? That's fucking ridiculous. That's not absolutely fucking just astounding how bullshit that is.
I wonder how close we are as a country to like a revolution.
I think we're peaking it pretty close. But hey, you know what I mean? If Donald Trump gets elected, you know, I wouldn't have a total problem with that because I can actually watch an assassination in HD and on my fucking nice flat screen.
4K.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, and then we, the people, like, and there you go. Like, everyone's like, oh my god, and I'm just like over here, like, fucking yeah. Can I replay that
Dad,
shit?
can I get a beer?
I know, right? But that shit.
I don't even drink beer. Shit.
Oh my god.
But you know, I'm not saying that I'd want him dead. but maybe for the benefit of the country. I might have to look the other way. It's just like, I didn't see that. I didn't see it. Those are nice shoes. Those are new shoes. I like. What are those? That's cool.
Here's a good question. So, for those of you guys who don't know, like Hulu actually has like a lot of their own custom series that don't go aired on TV. It's just literally just strictly on Hulu, and I mean I don't fully agree with Hulu because it's like you pay already for the money that you pay a month for it, and then like really close to Revelation. That you meant to say Revolution. Riots are breaking out a lot more often. Yeah, they are. But there's a show called 11/22/63, and that's like the date that President John F. Kennedy got assassinated. It was actually off of Steven Spielberg's his short novel. Yeah, dude, that guy made so many fucking books. It's ridiculous.
Could I just throw up a quick side note?
Yeah, go for it.
You remember that movie V for Vendetta?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's going to be, relatively speaking, I don't think it's going to be too long until the government declares a permanent martial law, and we end up kind of like in a similar situation.
You know, when I watched that movie, it kind of scared me a bit, for the reason that it's like some of the things that they were talking about, and some of the, and just the way people were living out their daily lives, not knowing that this is complete and utter bullshit, the way the government's running their people, and how brainwashed they were until some person or some outside force decided to touch base.
I get this all the fucking time. Like, oh, why are you so worried about this shit? Like, why is it such a big deal for you? Why isn't it a big deal for you?
I know, right?
What did you miss that I didn't? Because obviously you're fucking stupid.
I hate people who fucking say that shit because it's ridiculous. It's like, why does it matter to you? Why doesn't it matter to you?
Are you going to be alive for the next 8 years? Because if you are, then this fucking matters for everybody.
Seriously.
Even the people in Europe are like, oh shit, we're so fucked because he's not even in our country. He's not even in our country.
There's people
Gordon Ramsay's over there saying 20 more fucks a day. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, man. And, you know, we used to be this, like, great country that did great things, invented new things. We always used to be on the top, and now we're just not even there. Now we're just, like, we're a laughingstock for every other country that's, like, they put these jokes in fucking election, and they're actually winning.
It unfortunately really comes down to one simple point. It's about the fucking greed. It really is. It's everyone trying to sponge up as much money as they can to add a statistical number behind their name. Oh, I'm Bill Gates and I'm worth $67 billion. And I forgot the B. $1 billion. And it's like, good, I hope you fucking die alone, you piece of shit. Because what good does that money do you? You know what I mean? I understand that, like, it's success. But it's like, but you're not helping anybody with it. That just means you're another fucking person that's in the way of human evolution.
Actually, as a matter of fact, Bill Gates actually...
It was an example, I know.
Oh, okay. But from what I know, I think Bill Gates actually does, like, a huge donation for, like, starving kids in Africa or some other country or something like that. And he donates, like, millions of dollars.
But see, you have to ask yourself, here's the thing that bugs me. This is what you have to ask yourself. Does it make sense to do that? And let me explain. Like, if you donate money to kids in Africa so they can eat, fantastic. Good. Everyone likes you because that's a good thing to do as far as the media is concerned. Thumbs up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you donate money, or instead of donating money, you go there and you build hydroponic farms that go below the ground and shit, that run off of, you know, let's say thorium reactors or some crazy shit, like some new space age type stuff, right? That can then grow the food to supply the country indefinitely. Right? That's so much better than donating money that just so they can eat for the next 6 months. They can eat indefinitely, but no one gives a shit. You do that and they're like, ah, that's cool. But they're like, oh, just throw a couple $1 million at them. Like, here's some SpaghettiOs, you fucks. And everyone's like, yeah, he's such a great guy. And it's like, you know, it's about that publicity. It's like just looking like a good person without actually doing what is necessarily the best.
And the problem with... Yeah, exactly that. And
it's like, kind of hard to tell who's doing that and who's not. Is Bill Gates doing that for, like, the publicity? Like, I'm a good guy. And everyone's like, yes, you are. Or is he doing that because that's what he thinks really is best? And it's like, I don't know if I can make that determination. You know, in my opinion, I'm not sure.
I don't think we'll ever know.
But there are a lot of people that I can think of. They're like, yeah, I donated to charity. And it's like, yeah, but you only did that because you wanted to look good and you have money blowing out your ass. You fucking crashed your Ferrari and there was already another one behind you waiting for you to get in it. You see the issue here.
All right, so we got 10 minutes left, so I'm just gonna do like the whole entire Hulu series thing, and then I'm gonna ask
All
you the
right, all right.
question. So basically, it's about this this man that goes back in time through like a wormhole of sorts, and
Morgan Freeman.
and it goes back to the same exact date every single time. And no matter how long you spend in the past, you actually only spend 2 minutes in the present. But it's weird though because it's like whatever you do over there, like say if you get like a cut in your arm and you have to get stitches in it, like you come back to the present and you still have those stitches there and everything. Like everything that happens to you, like if
So
you die,
your body still travels through time,
mhm.
basically
But
like a
yes,
conduit.
yep. So it was obviously to prevent the assassination of John F.
JFK.
Kennedy. Yep. And it's like that kind of raises some questions. Is like for who do you think? Like I don't know. Never mind. Actually, that's not a good question because I don't think you know too much about that.
Too
I
much
don't even
about
know
what?
too much about that. I was actually gonna be like because there's a lot of speculation of even if Lee Harvey Oswald actually even did it in the first place or was it the government?
You know, I honestly like from what I remember, from what I hear in like in history class and all this good stuff. I don't think John F. Kennedy seemed like he would have made a fantastic fucking president. What
Yep.
would the world be like today if he hadn't died? Like, where would we be as a country? I think we'd be so much better off. And I can't say that. I obviously you can't know that for certain, but it's like I'd be willing to take the risk.
Yeah,
Seeing at the
exactly.
state of everything today, it's gotten to a point where it's like it really doesn't matter. Fuck it, see what happens.
Well, see, here's the thing though. The scary thing about the butterfly effect is anything that you change or alter in the past, theoretically, is gonna change in the future. Any little thing that you change is gonna have a butterfly effect. And it's like if he was elected twice, right, and never died, who's to say the next president after him was gonna fuck up the country completely? You know what I mean? Like the next like Bush. You know what I mean? Like you never know, and that's like so scary to me. And that's why like I think the past should just never be altered and just leave it the way it is because you never know what you're gonna change and you never know what's actually gonna come out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but but who's to say that it couldn't happen the exact opposite way? You know what I mean?
No,
Like
yeah,
it gives
you
it
don't.
both room for it could get worse or it could get better. It could get much worse or it could get much better.
Yeah, but that's not a risk that, to be honest, I'm willing to take.
Well, at some point in time, there will become a point at which you will be willing to take that risk. You just haven't reached it yet, which means things haven't gotten bad enough that it's like fuck it. It couldn't have gotten much worse than this, and if it did, it would not like it made a difference because it'd still be in the same shitty spot. And we obviously like America is still great. I think. I just think that like this is something we either are gonna overcome or it's gonna bury us. If we overcome it, then we're gonna be better than ever. But if it buries us, it's the end of America. And I really would like to say I wouldn't consider myself to be an optimist. I really don't. I'd like to be. I just can't do it. But I'd like to say that I think we're going in the right direction. Not with this election. I just mean in general. I think it like once this is passed or their 8 years is up, I think that something better can come of it. I hope. I hope.
For the sake of the fucking country, same here, man.
And it's like I have a good feeling about that. So it's like fuck it. 8 years. As long as I don't fuck it up too bad, maybe there's a recovery. Maybe America can be greater than it's ever been, and it's just a slight downside for now. It's just in relatively short time. 8 years is nothing compared to the time that America's existed as far as a country.
Mm.
Since we gained our independence. So
I think that we should be doing right now is to look upon other countries and see what we can do to make our country better. And what I mean like that by getting rid of the deficit, try and make college free, and just doing all the things that all these first world countries are able to do because they have the funds for it. You know what I mean? Or
yeah,
have the proper way to run a government. And the thing is though is that we're a capitalist government, right?
yeah.
Let's make America great again. Yeah. I to be honest with you, it's like I think we should look upon other countries to take tips and ideas to make our country the way it was. You know what I mean? It's like
I think realistically, America was founded on basically what is trial and error, political
yeah,
trial and error, and I think that we should absolutely just do exactly that.
and it's because in all reality we're a young country comparatively speaking to all the other countries out there. in the sense that, you know, we were founded in like 17 something, right? But all these countries have been like founded in like 1300s and like, you know, even like lower than that, you know what I mean? Like they've been working trial and error to make their government the way it is today, and it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for that to happen, maybe we should just try and do something different. You know, change is not bad. That's why I think the whole socialist thing wouldn't be such a bad idea, because of the fact that other countries are the first world countries, and there's a lot of them that are beating us in every way, shape, and form, and they have the funds, and they're doing a really good job at it. Hey, how's it going, Randomized Gamer? Welcome to the new channel. You know what I mean? Like Canada's a socialist country. You got Norway, Sweden, China. You know, all these countries that we look upon for help and such, and
But here's
well,
one
we
thing you
should.
have to take into consideration. This is a lot of things that people miss. Maybe those countries' success is due to our failure. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
we've created part of their economy as they've created part of ours. Which means that because we're not doing so well, they're doing even better. So who's to say that if every country becomes a socialist country, that we all don't just end up fucked? Like,
That is
is
true,
that
because we look upon like China for.
it's too many variables to calculate. And I'm not saying that it would be bad, but I'm saying that there are some circumstances in which it could turn out like that.
Yeah, I mean that could definitely happen. That's definitely a possibility. I mean, you never know what's gonna happen. That's the thing about time is it's kind of scary to think that, you know, me not going downstairs to grab like this glass of milk could change something about, you know. I'm sorry, but what is this? What is the topic? The topic's been, you know, switched around.
Politics,
Yeah, basically, and
for now.
how, like, in my general idea of how we can actually make this country a little bit better. As far as where we're headed right now, I don't think it's going in the right direction. I think it's just we're gonna keep on going down the same path because no one wants to
Well,
change.
the one surefire thing about any country is that if things go too far the wrong way, there's always a revolution to set things back in motion.
Yeah.
It may not be pretty. Things may, the damage may last for hundreds of years, but eventually the people themselves will set things right.
You know, I think the biggest problem with us is the people that live in this country is the same thing that what I'm talking about is that they're afraid of change, and because they're afraid of change, we cannot grow as a country. You know what I mean? There
Yeah.
has to be change or some sort of way that things can be altered to make them greater. And that's the problem. Everyone's happy the way things are, and it's like, but how are you happy though? It's like there's so many things that we're getting royally fucked by the government, and no one realizes it. The problem that, like, cause I fucking fractured my thumb. This shit is still in pain, and the fact that I have to worry about going to the hospital and getting X-rays, and like the amount of money that like we don't have the funds for it is absolutely ridiculous. What if this was a deeper problem? You know what I mean? What if I can end up getting like an infection somehow? Just throwing things out there. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I'm afraid to go to the hospital, which is where I should be going for help because of the amount of money that they're gonna charge me, is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And that's why, like, you know, living in Canada, everything's just kind of more peaceful, and people are more generally more happier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they have more abilities and things that they can do. That kind of the stress that we have as like a nation is because of all the things that we're restricted from being able to do, and that other countries don't have that much stress because they don't have to worry about those things. It's not a problem in their mind of, oh, I should be worrying about the bill at the hospital. It's like, nah, man, we got you for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these bills and government trying to fuck you, you know, in every say like way, shape, or form and stuff like that. All these other countries are probably the people are generally more happy because they don't have to worry about that stuff. While on the other hand, we do.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, for me personally, I think all I want is just to be fucking happy. I don't care how fucked up things get. I just want to be able to say that I'm happy.
Yeah,
But
exactly. I'm happy where
unfortunately,
I'm living, and
and I can't say that I am happy with my situation as of current. Of course, it could be better. Of course, there's things that could be better. But you know what? I'm glad that I get to live in a place where I have a roof over my head, where I have people, family members that I can rely
friends.
on, and stuff like that. But it's come to a point where it's like, that's all, good and well. But the problem is at some point in time, it may come to a point where you have to defend those things that you care so much about. And it's like, that's not what America's about. Like, that's what the military does. Their job is to serve their country so that way I don't have to.
Mhm.
Not in the same sense. And I fully 100% respect those people. And you know what? And if I could join the service, I absolutely would, because I believe that certain things. But the problem with that is that all these big fucking corporations, it's like, oh, go to the Middle East, look for weapons of mass destruction. Are you really? I
Yep.
mean, be honest
Or
with me.
are exactly. Or are you just trying to go there because you have oil? What was it? Sanctions over there,
And maybe they were looking for weapons of mass destruction, but who's to say that they weren't taking a peek?
and what they were doing behind, behind the scenes that we didn't know about, that we were afraid of.
And it's
Hey, thanks, Appreciate it. But anyway, guys, we're gonna end the stream here because we're at officially an hour and a half. So if you guys did enjoy the podcast, then make sure to hit the subscribe button. We actually have some awesome future content waiting for you guys. We're gonna have some different YouTubers going on the channel and stuff like that. Some bigger YouTubers, YouTubers generally around the same size as us and stuff like that. So that'll be really interesting to hear their input. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So
And
I'll s-
as a sort of disclaimer, we know that this podcast in particular was a little heavy-handed at times, and but these are obviously our opinions, or most of its opinion. There's a couple of good things in science, right?
yeah.
But most of it's our opinions, and so if you guys have something to say about that, you want to start a conversation, there's the comments section, of course, and of course there's the chat. Next time we do a stream, come check us out. We'll be happy to have you again.
Alrighty, guys, catch you all on the next one. Peace out.
Peace.